You are listening to Fantha tracks.
You're listening to Fantha tracks. Flip through the galaxy of literature. Welcome to Canon Fodder.
So Chris, welcome back to the show. You've been on before. It was a couple of years ago. So welcome back. How's you? How's things?
I'm all right, twiddling my thumbs a little bit. But apart from that, it's quite relaxing.
So, obviously, as we speak, the final issue of Souls Inside of is out. But first things first, we're back in the cinematic era of Star Wars. Have you seen The Mandalorian and Grogu? And if you have, what did you think of it?
I did. I saw it last Friday. I don't know. What do I think of it? I'm conflicted. I mean, since watching it, I've read a lot of what people have said online, which, generally I try not to do, but you can't help yourself, can you? You can't help yourself. But when I was sat watching it, I just kind of felt a bit meh as I was going through it, which I didn't want to feel. I went out into it open-minded. I wanted to go and have fun and enjoy it. And I think there's plenty of people that have found fun and value in it. It's a very straightforward film. And I was watching the opening sequence with the snowy planet, wherever that is. Then Bond goes to meet M at the base of operations.
Yes.
And it felt like, oh, right, so this is going to be a James Bondy sort of adventure. And then it just kind of plodded on, really, with lots and lots of fights, interspersed with bits where there weren't fights, and then more fights.
Yeah.
I think I just found it a bit relentless. I don't think it's a Star Wars problem. I think it's every summer film seems to have that feel to it these days. They're not really about anything, and there's lots and lots of visuals, and the sound is just an incredible sound mix. It's so overwhelming that you kind of come out and think, well, I'm kind of tired, but I'm not really sure what happened. And it feels like that a little bit. It's clear, a lot of people have said it, it's clear that this was essentially what would have been Series 4, and you think, well, I think we've been robbed a little bit there, because that Snowy World was a 45-minute episode, and it would have had a lot more depth to it. Bald guy with his huge game of Dedgerick, that would have been a whole episode. Or they might even have been across 2 episodes, There was probably a couple more catching up with bad guys that just he had to cut because he had to make a film, because Disney said, we need a film in cinemas, please. And it'll cost us less than making a whole series, and it'll cost us a lot less than making a film. So, overall, underwhelmed largely, which I think was a shame, but I think it was largely because it was a repurposed TV show. That was Battlestar Galactica back years ago. Mission Galactica.
Yep.
Was that the Galactica 1981?
Oh, Galactica 80, yeah. Yeah, they stitched a few episodes together and stuff.
Yeah, and they'd stick them in. They probably didn't do that in the States, but they'd do it in the UK. They'd release a couple together set of episodes, and it felt a bit like that, which is a shame, really, because you want more.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun and largely inconsequential to the wider plot.
Which I don't mind, actually. I like the wider inconsequentiality of it. It's like Skeleton Crew. It has no consequence to the rest of the universe, but it's a great little story of its own.
That's a good way of equating them, actually. I think it's probably on that similar sort of, in that sense, that similar sort of level. Yeah, I think people are they're already looking towards May and Starfighter next year.
Yeah, it's almost like Disney should have had the balls to just wait another year. Wait until the 50th anniversary. A new film. Don't squeeze something in that doesn't quite pass muster in the form you're going to put it out there. If you let it breathe, if you let them make a series, it would have come out prior to now, for sure, like last year, but they need some content to come out this year, because I don't think it's going to be anything else. It feels like it probably should have gone out before Ahsoka. It should have led into that series in the context of the storyline, because, one leads to another and you build a story. We haven't got that.
I'm curious now. I'm going to ask you a really difficult question. With your editor's head on, now you've got Mando and Grogu content that you would be thinking dropping into the Insider. Where do you think the focus would have been? Do you think it would have been on the visual effects side of it, or the actors side of it? Because there's not that many actors in it. It feels more like a practical thing than an actors thing.
Very much. I mean, I much as I love Zeb, much as I like Rebels, I would have rather had a human cast member doing some banter as a kind of a third wheel to that story. Would have given it a bit more fizz, a bit more buzz, made it just more engaging. Because a man in a mask and a puppet, however well they're done, however well performed they are, however technically brilliant they are, if we're human beings, we need human eyes. Rotter the Hutt is no human being. Though,
No.
I mean, he's obviously fitter than most humans.
Certainly fitter than me. Yeah, it's a really good observation, and that's another thing I've heard from a few people in the sense that you see Pedro on screen for I don't know 3 or 4 minutes, and Sigourney Weaver's in it sporadically.
Yeah,
but yeah, like you say, outside of that, there's not that many people. Certainly not that many heroic people.
No,
apart from a table full of directors.
Yes, oh, God, don't start me. And who were all the other people? The other people were probably the rest of the crew.
Catering, maybe. There's probably more connected cameos in there than we even realise, and probably ever will.
Exactly. But I haven't answered your question, have I? What would I put in the magazine? Were I still editing it? Were it still a thing? It would have been all those things. I mean, I would have got whoever I could, really. In terms of things it did that I would have been interested... I mean, God, to talk about Favreau, about writing, in years to come, I'm sure the story of how it was put together will come out rather than us just supposing what may have been the case, but seems fairly obvious. I'm always interested in what writers, on the writing process of how they got from A to B to C and what ends up on screen. I don't know, because I feel like the show, we've covered it, There's nothing really innovative visually or sound-wise about it. I mean, we would have found something to talk about.
We had that great day at Pinewood, didn't we? And we got
it was lovely.
And the acolyte bits and bobs that we did, which was great fun. We wouldn't have had that opportunity to do that for this. But, you had writers in the States that might have had the opportunity to do it. I suppose there was opportunities there. But, it feels more like a constructed film. Yeah,
all the pieces, they had all the technology, everything that they needed to do it. I am curious how much, because it's difficult, I'm sure someone will do a comparison as well of the model work and stuff, how much the new Razor Crest matches the old one. Just because I'm curious to see if there's a little dimension. You can't trust the Lego version. The Lego version's different. I would love to know how much difference there is in the models. I always like the special effects.
I really enjoyed the stuff with the dragon snake. That was in the pit. That was nicely done.
That was beautiful. It was a lovely bit of animation, wasn't it? Really, really immersive. It was fantasy, but it didn't look sort of over the top fantastical.
Yeah.
I guess it would have been something along, but you know what it is. You know it's CGI. We know how the volume works. I'm sure there would have been something to do. I think makeup-wise maybe, but so many of the creatures were CG as well, weren't they? I don't like the Azellans. Is that
Azellans, yeah.
Azellans. They irritate me. There used to be a show, you may remember it, called...
I know what you're going to say.
Michael Bentin's Potty Time. Yeah. Which, to people who don't know, there was a British comedy radio group in the 50s and 60s called The Goons, and Michael Bentin was one of them. And by the time he got around to the 60s and 70s, that radio show was gone. But he did a puppet show, and it was brilliant. With these little creatures that were they had sort of furry faces and their noses would stick out, and sometimes you'd see them real size, but then it would have adventures with them that tended to happen on sandy or muddy planets where the footsteps would just appear as characters walking along. You have a little voice going like that in the background. And it's just them. That's just Azellans. I quite like their little spaceship. I like the fact that's probably the first you could release a Star Wars toy that was 100% scale. Yeah, I quite like that concept.
A friend of mine said he didn't like the way the ship flew and landed. He said it looked shonky. And I said, it's supposed to look shonky. It's like Potty Time, and it lands with that little wobble.
Do you think that was a reference? Do you think they were referencing those old things, or was it just an accident?
If somebody realised that the son of one of the goons played Watto and was deep dive enough to throw in the most oblique reference and say, let's make this ship look like Potty Time.
Oh, that would be good, wouldn't it? That would be poetry.
Wouldn't it?
Hi, this is Andy Seacombe, otherwise known as Watto, and you're listening to Fantha Tracks.
So now that Insider's not around, and with the lineage he had going right back to the fan club in the 70s, I think when Craig Miller started the original sort of fan club magazine, how do you think fans now are going to get the news and in the interviews, the sort of the deep dive stuff that Insider was able to do?
I don't know. I think that's the sad thing about it going, really, because I don't think there's the magazines that get the big scoops, like Empire Magazine and Variety, that get all the stars, all the creatives, interview ahead of a show launching. We never had a look in at that. We're not mass market. Insider was a niche magazine, really, with quite a small readership compared to those. I would have loved to have been able to get that kind of stuff, and I think it would have been of value to the readers, and it would have made for a much more successful magazine. But where do they go now? Because StarWars.com, I think, is a really great resource, but it's fluctuated over the years. I think purely, I'm sure, based on funding. I don't know if they've got the money behind them now to go as in-depth as they could. They do some lovely stuff. They do some lovely deep interviews, and it's always engaging, but there'll be big periods where it's just bubbling along with a bit of content. But it's not tangible. You can't pick it up. You can't store it. You can't hold it. You can't flick through it. You can't go back to it later. You can't sip a cup of... Well, you can sip a cup of tea while you're watching a monitor, but, it's not the same. And who else is going to do it? Fans will get their news when it's released as a press release, which will be very scant information. It won't go back. What I've found with the magazine was there'll be a release of photos, that you can use, normally out of our time frame of when we're putting an issue together. But after a film's release, it's this tumbleweed. There's nothing new. Insider's the only one that would have gone back and spoken to someone from half a decade ago about some little piece of the puzzle that they were involved in, which is always interesting. You speak to a poster artist or anyone who's had a little bit of involvement. It may seem inconsequential, but they've got a little story around it. They've got a story about them as a person. They've got a story about what they did. It makes the whole thing more human. And I think without Insider around, that connection is lost, really. I mean, fan sites do what they can, but fan sites leap at the tiniest little bit of soundbite that they've heard someone said in an interview on, I don't know, morning TV somewhere, and suddenly it's column inches and everyone else is reporting on it, and it just grows and grows and becomes, oh my God, they said this, did they mean this? And that's not the same. That's not the same as the proper documentation of how it comes together. My disappointment with Insider going is we can't do that anymore, and people won't get that. The same thing that we've had for 45 odd years, it's just gone. It's such a shame.
It is, because obviously Fantha's a news site. We pick up all the latest odds and sods. But as you very rightly point out, Insider was able to go back and, where was it? New York Comic Con. I think I spoke to Greg Hildebrandt about 6 or 7 years ago. And obviously he's talking about the poster that he did back in the 70s.
Yeah.
A modern fan site generally, certainly not a news site, that's not their bread and butter. So like you say, if anybody ever sees that image that the Hildebrandts did and wants to know a bit more about it, Insider's the physical thing to pick up and have a read and learn more.
I mean, it's nice to know that people have got huge collections. I haven't got a huge collection. I actually donated it to Titan because they had a big gap in their back issues. But, I've got all the ones I did, and they're sat right down there. So it's nice to know it's there. I can't remember what's in at least 80% of them. But, it exists, and therefore is a genuine resource. It's probably all been scanned on the internet somewhere.
Everything's out there on the internet somewhere. Yeah. Have you got any highlights? I mean, when you look back at your time, and it's weird saying that in the past tense, and I know it's weird for you. Would you pick a moment, or would you pick an issue, or just a time period where you go, it was really firing on all cylinders there?
There's a few issues. There's one where we had an interview with Ray Park, and for once we got a fantastic picture of Darth Maul from Solo that hadn't been anywhere else. Terrific cover. It was a really nice interview, but there were several other things in that issue that just elevated. So every once in a while, there'd be a confluence of features and interviews that just happened to fall in the right place for one issue, and that issue would just be great. I mean, I think most issues were pretty good, but there were some along the way that just felt really solid. Ones that that you'd remember as you got older, hopefully. It's like the original Insider, there's one, I'm sure you remember it, they did a tour of Tatooine locations in America, like Death Valley and stuff like that.
Yes.
I think, was it David West Reynolds?
David West Reynolds, yeah.
It's an amazing, amazing issue, because there's so much good stuff in it, and there's this great list of places to go, which I eventually went to, some of them, not all of them. What a great thing, and I still remember that, and that's one of the ones I didn't give to Titan. I kept that for myself. We replicated that a few times later on in the magazine. Issue 200 felt like quite a nice milestone. I'm really quite proud of the final issue. I think it's really nice balance between looking backwards and being fairly celebratory, but still being relevant. I mean, we were lucky you got to speak to the SFX people, which meant we could obliquely reference Starfighter without mentioning it too much.
Yeah.
When I did my copy edit, I tailored a few little bits. I just toned them down a little bit so that we could get it past Lucasfilm.
Leak it through, yeah.
And we did, and I'm really quite pleased with that. Another thing that I've noticed, the issue came out way after Harrison Ford got his Lifetime Achievement Award, but doing that news layout, we had a generic final frame from one of the films, and I didn't want that, so when I did my proofread, I changed the picture of Han Solo at the top, so it's a really cool one of him holding his blaster. And then I found this fantastic picture of Indy from Dial of Destiny. Just randomly on Reddit one day I saw, there's a new picture of Indy. Look at this from this. No one's seen it before. And I thought, yes, that's what Insider was for. Giving people something they didn't get anywhere else, and they're really excited. That's job done, really. If the readers get excited by something in there, that's what you're there for.
For everything in one location, daily news, reviews, interviews, podcasts, video and social media feeds, bookmark FanthaTracks.com for Star Wars news 24/7, 365.
On a day-to-day basis, when you were sort of rolling with the magazine, and I know there's no average day, but, what was a regular kind of insider day like for you?
A lot of copy editing, just teasing stuff into a shape that felt right to me. Sometimes I'd send things back to writers to massage, but most of the time, because it was just me, I used to have a copy editor, no more money for that. I used to have a proofreader, no more money for that. So I was doing everything. So I just got into a real mindset of, right, I'm doing everything. Yeah, just copy editing. That's my day. And updating my spreadsheet and sending things off for approval and chasing approvals. This is the side of things. Everyone would think, oh, what do you do for... Oh, well, I edit a magazine. What magazine's that? Oh, it's Star Wars Insider. Oh, Star Wars. That must be exciting. And it is. But most of the time, it's people like you that I pay to go off and speak to the cool people. I then have to pull all the thing together in my little office, tapping away. So occasionally it was exciting, but most of the time it was just jealousy of all the people that were getting to speak to the cool people.
And now it's finished. What's your next trajectory now? What are you thinking of sort of steering your talents toward?
My trajectory at the moment is kind of prostrate, I'm just doing a lot of sitting around, a lot of lying around, a lot of thinking, oh, maybe I should probably get a job. I don't know. I honestly don't know what's happening next. I have nothing.
Because I interject for a specific reason. You wrote the fiction story in the last issue, didn't you?
I did. I wasn't going to let anyone else do it. I thought I'm not going to get another chance. They're never going to commission me to write a novel or anything like that. So they kind of vaguely mentioned it in a meeting. So, well, I mean, you could pitch for it, which I took as you're doing it, because I'm the editor, and they couldn't stop me because they couldn't make me hire anyone else. Anyway, so that's I was very pleased to get that in. It's not entirely autobiographical, but it is basically about someone finishing their job on the space equivalent of a magazine. I assume you read it. Yeah. I kind of think it was. I think it was all right. It was okay. It's kind of low key.
Low key is good. It's a great thing to have on your CV now. That's why I asked it. You've written original Star Wars fiction now. So in addition to the Doctor Who stuff and all the other bits and bobs.
I don't know. It all feels like it's all left me behind. But this may be because it's a hot day and I haven't actually got anything else in place. But I needed the break because I've been doing magazines since 2011 with Star Trek. It has been a relentless series of deadlines for like 15 years. I've always been on deadline. I feel like, Wile E. Coyote runs off a cliff and hangs around for a little bit before falling down. I'm kind of that bit just before he falls down. So it's quite nice. It's quite nice up here, just floating. I may have a week or two before it starts going, oh, God, and heading down to a big puff of dust. But for now, it's okay. I'm not panicking yet. I'll figure something out.
You just mentioned something that I often forget because they're in the trenches doing Insider, but we knew each other before that because of Star Trek magazine, another magazine that's gone, sadly.
Yep, that was it. I mean, those were the last two things that Titan were doing, and they used to do tons, didn't they? They used to do Buffy and Smallville and
Stargate, I think, didn't they?
Whatever the witch thing was.
Charmed, was it?
That's the fella, or the lasses rather. So that used to be a big market for genre magazines, and it's all gone.
Isn't it strange?
It's sad. I don't think it's really strange. I don't think the market's just not there anymore. You go into W.H. Smith's, which isn't W.H. Smith's even, and if you can find the magazine section, it's very, very niche now. I mean, Star Wars was a niche magazine, but now various music magazines, but lots of hobbyist ones. And you kind of think, well, are those hobbyists going to carry on forever as the market dwindles and dwindles and dwindles? Because everyone could go on the RPF or various other online communities to learn things and figure things out. And the ad revenue's not there. I think that's a real killer.
It's interesting, as you say all of that, how the field that we're in, the entertainment field, has changed. I've not really overthought it, but you're right. All those entertainment magazines have sort of moved on, and you kind of wonder, will Empire remain as a print magazine?
They're big. They sell internationally, but I kind of get the feeling that anyone marketing films these days is not interested in print media. They're interested in getting influencers to immediately love something and get people in for the first weekend, and then after that, it's like, move on, next. It doesn't support art. And pretentiously, I think Star Wars Insider supported the art of making Star Wars rather than just marketing it, which is dirty.
I love that thought. That's a really nice. Genuinely think that's a really nice way of looking at it, because the more people we've spoke to, obviously through the site and association and fellow writers. I mean, I heard you on Star Warsologies not long ago with Melissa and James, and Melissa started writing for Fantha Tracks now, which is a step down, obviously, but we're very grateful that she's involved. And that was a cracking chat. But the magazine as an entity, as a collectible, as something you tangibly hold. But speaking to folks, I mean, this is going to frustrate you as an editor, because if people had shown the passion they're showing now, it's gone. When it was around, it wouldn't have gone. But as you say, such is life.
It's quite funny the amount of people that say, "Oh, I didn't know it was still going." I literally read through oh God, it's so self-referential to go through Reddit posts just to see if someone liked what you've done. But I do. And one person said, I didn't know it was still going. And the very next comment was, well, it was until now. That sums it up, really. There's people who still knew and people who loved it but just didn't bother. It's the modern world.
It is the modern world. And we're in the 49th year of Star Wars, just into it now, and the 50th is next year. Putting your Nostradamus hat on now, how do you think it's going to go? I mean, there's generally a decent vibe around Mando and Grogu, very light fare, but easy to watch.
Yeah, modest, isn't it? I mean, I think if you like it or you don't like it, but no one hates it.
That's true.
They just think, it was all right, it was a bit of fun.
Where do you think we're going for the 50th?
Where we're headed? Well, I don't know. I mean, a lot is riding, I guess, on Starfighter, but, they couldn't have cast a more current lead for that film. It could be really interesting. All we really know about it is there's a bit of water involved at some point. We know very little else. I hope it's good. I'm looking forward to something that is doing something fresh. But for me, the big thing is the re-release of the original film unmessed around with. I think that's going to be massive, culturally at least, because it will get a lot of eyes on it. A lot of media will pay attention to that release. For people like me, the chance to go and see that on the big screen again, properly. And inevitably there'll be, a 4K disc release. I mean, it's a given. There's no way Disney's going to pass that up because people have been asking it for years. I know there's like despecialised editions and all that. I can only imagine that the reason they're doing this release is because of the BFI's print. I can't imagine they've gone back to anything else and done massive amounts of restoration. Yeah. They've been presented with this beautiful clean print, which you went and saw, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
I wish I'd known it was on. I'd have loved to have seen that. If that's not the basis of the release, I would be very surprised. I don't think it probably may not even have happened if they hadn't found that. I don't know, and this is no insider knowledge. It's just to see that, preferably in a cinema where no one else has come to spoil my fun, and I'm sat right in the middle, eye level. A few close friends will be allowed, but no one eating. No one's allowed to eat. No children. No one else. I know, and they must be quiet if they are allowed in, just so that I can enjoy myself. The last time I saw it on the big screen was the Royal Albert Hall. I'm sure you must have been there.
The Star Wars in concert thing?
Yeah, with the Royal Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah.
How could you not? That was great. But that was a few years ago now.
Yeah.
Probably pre-COVID, I think. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Hello, I'm Dennis Lawson, and you're listening to Fantha Tracks.
I'm gutted that Insider's not around to do something. If we could have just hung on another year.
I know.
I would have loved to have gone to Celebration. So, yeah, it would have been nice to have been part of it. But equally, it's really nice not to have to worry about it, because I would have had to find the right coverage for the magazine. Increasingly, it's 50 years ago. To get the people who were there is increasingly hard to do. You would get people who were influenced by it, which is valid, but we're 10 a penny, the people that were influenced by it. The 100%. People who were there on the floor are becoming fewer and far between, and they're the people who would really want to commemorate it with.
I'm sincerely hoping that a lot of those original guys, especially A New Hope guys, are invited and involved in Celebration. Yeah. And we're so lucky still to have Lucas around, but of course he's 14 years away from it, so he just pops in when he wants. But ironically now with Filoni in charge, probably more than he has for the last 10, 15 years.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, this is another thing I would have loved to have gone next year, because that Lucas Museum is going to be open.
Yeah.
That looks terrific. That's going to be a fantastic day out. And the architecture's great, the collections sound great. It's just a cool thing to have put together.
There's still plenty going on. Like I say, I think the 50th feels like, not a barrier, but it's like we're thinking up to the 50th and not much beyond it. Ray Trilogy, Dawn of the Jedi, will they ever make the Lando film? Empire and Jedi, restored versions of those as well, the originals, which would be lovely to see.
I'm not so sure they will.
I'm not so sure, but I'd like to think they would. So now that it's all in the rearview mirror, you can park it and and sort of consider that a period of your working life, how proud are you of the work you did on Insider?
It's not for me to say. It's for our glorious readers to say whether it was any good or not, but I think it was pretty good. There was no filler issue. There was no kind of like, oh, we cobbled this together, send it out. You know, there was always at least one feature that I thought was great, a couple of features that I thought, well, yeah, this is pretty good, and some issues where it was just cover to cover really exciting. So, you know, overall, over 60 issues altogether. I think it was all right. I think I did an okay job. I think I kept the flame alive. I don't think it's any fault of anyone who worked on the magazine that it ended. I think it's just the commercial reality. I mean, I don't really know why the licence wasn't renewed. I know Titan wanted to carry on, but the decision was made somewhere further up the chain, way beyond us, that it wasn't part of the plan anymore. But I think what we did, I think what Jonathan did. I mean, when did Titan take it over? 2007 or 8. Over all that time, yeah, a long time for one publisher to be committed to any magazine. Really, it doesn't. Yeah. They don't tend to last that long. I think overall we did a pretty good job over those years of keeping Star Wars content a little bit more in depth than you're going to get everywhere else. My guiding sort of ethos behind the magazine was that it was accepting of everyone and it was egalitarian, and it gave a little piece in each issue that would be of an appeal to different fan bases, you know, because it's been around for 50 years. There's people who came on at such different periods. Some kids came on with the Clone Wars. They hadn't even seen the prequels, or they weren't quite old enough for the prequels. So many decades in between points where you could have come on board. That had to be represented in the magazine. And I think we did a good job of that.
I think you did.
I think we did, yeah. I'll take that. We did all right on my gravestone.
That's a good epitaph on you.
It was all right.
We got away with it.
We got away with it. Oh, we could have got away with things more.
Hey ho.
Could have got more naughtiness in there.
Well, thanks for keeping me around for so long. I don't think I've had a chance to say that.
It's been fun. I mean, it's been fun meeting up with you at various points over the years. Hopefully you're still going to find avenues to stay involved in some way. Well, you've written for ILM?
ILM and Skywalker Sound, yeah.
Yeah,
and
that must be interesting, because you get a bit more access if they're doing it themselves.
It's more deep divey, which is nice, because obviously it's focused on the visual, so you're going down that avenue. And I don't know much about that side of it at all, so I'm learning stuff all the time as well, which is interesting. I say my podcast is about you today, but just speaking for me, having been around it since sort of 2006, it is kind of a bit weird. But I'll be forever grateful, and I'll be forever grateful for you for keeping me on. So thank you for that. Don't be a stranger.
Oh, I'll come and whinge every once in a while.
Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.
That's all right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us for this special edition of Canon Fodder. For more Star Wars podcast content, be sure to subscribe to Fantha Tracks Radio on your podcatcher of choice. Subscribe to all our social media at links.fanthatracks.com. Be sure to be checking out fanthatracks.com daily for all your latest Star Wars news. And you can also join us live on YouTube for Good Morning Tatooine every Sunday evening at youtube.com/Fantha TV.
Coming up next on Fantha Tracks Radio, it's Making Tracks.